step back next to her, and that way I can get a picture
Take
of
a
you
picture.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind
Yeah.
of. Do you just want just them two? Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, and the Kern High School District. With additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Do the Math. I'm Michael.
And I'm Cindy.
I'm Prabhat. For math homework, help call in Bakersfield 636-4357. Everywhere else, 1-866-636-6284. Email is dothemath@kern.org. We're online at dothemathonline.net and on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube.
All right, nicely done, Prabhat. So where do you attend school and what grade are you in?
I go to Earl and Warren Junior High and I'm in 8th grade.
How is 8th grade?
8th grade's fun.
Is it better than 6th grade?
6th grade, yeah, because we have more, it's more like packed. There's more students coming to our school than just regular elementary school.
Okay.
So you have more.
Is it more fun than 6th grade on Fridays?
No, it's.
There you go. That's what I'm only kidding.
It's about the same,
It's
like
about
every
the same,
day. Yeah.
so it was fun. All right, good. So I just wanted to make sure. So you're pretty comfortable in 8th grade. You've been in junior high for 2 years now. Do you have an idea where you'll be going to high school next year?
We're gonna go to I was thinking of going to Stockdale. We're gonna do open enrollment. If we don't go there, we're gonna probably end up at Independence. But I don't really have a problem with any of them. So
Yeah,
anywhere
I mean,
is good.
As long as you go to school, right?
Yeah.
Do you have an idea on the math class you might be taking next year? Have you talked to
Yeah.
counselors or anything about that stuff yet?
Not yet, but I was hoping to do some AP classes, like for some extra college credit.
Good. Well, that's exactly what you want to do. If you're able to do that, then by all means pursue that and get a little leg up on that, right?
Yeah.
All right. Hey, is there anything in 8th grade math that you've done so far this year that has been kind of difficult that you
Not
would like, I need a little
not-
more time to do that?
Not really. We usually practice, like we do examples first, we do notes, then we do examples, and then we get into it. We have like a few worksheets, and then even then we have like review before we test. So you can cover the subject like a good amount before you have like to do the test. So you never really have to like cram or anything like
Okay.
that.
So you're comfortable with everything and you
Yep.
like the pace of the way it's going? Good. Well, I'm glad to hear that. All right. You ready to do a social media problem with me?
Yep.
All right, let's take a look at it together up on the monitor. It says, what fraction represents the shaded area? So we have 4/5, 8/20, 3/10, and 4/9. So Prabhat, what is the first thing that comes to mind when you see this problem?
So I see 4 boxes shaded out and 6 not, so I assume it's 4/10.
Okay. Now,
But-
4/10 isn't even up there, though.
So
But we have 3/10.
no, it's not the same. It's not the same coverage.
We have 4 shaded, so we have 4/5 and 4/9.
Because there's 10 squares and 4/5 doesn't equal 4/10, or 4/9 doesn't equal 4/10 either. So, yeah.
So you're going to go with B. It has an 8 and a 20. There's not even anything. How are you getting there?
The thing is, if 4/10, if you multiply both the denominator and numerator by 2, you get 8/20. So they're equal in a sense.
Good, because a lot of times people see fractions and they want to simplify them, and they always go down to simplify them, right? But you can also increase, right? So you can just double it up, and you got 8 over
Yeah.
20. You're solid on that answer. You're going to go with B?
Yep.
All right, let's take a look and see if you are correct. There you go. B is the correct answer. See how easy it is? I told you, first thing you had to do was read that. Everything else is going to be easy after that, right?
Yeah.
Until a little bit later. But first, time now for today's Math in the News. All right, today's Math in the News. Fortunate enough once again to have some visitors from COM. Liz, how are you today?
I'm great.
Usually when you guys come in, we talk about COM and stuff going out at COM, but you've brought an attachment with you
I
today.
did. I brought our friend Caterpillar. She's one of our opossums that we have
Okay.
at COM.
And Caterpillar is how old?
She is about 6 months old.
6 months old, and that big already.
Yes, me, sir. Yes, she's a ma'am. You're a sir. Yes.
Now, it is an opossum instead of
Opossum.
possum.
Right.
So can you explain the difference between those a little bit?
You know what? I am not entirely familiar with the reason.
know that you've got a little
There's got
bit
some
of,
notes there for you. I know
literature here.
Yes, she is a native, the opossum, but there are some species that are just possum.
So it's a distinct species
It is.
that is a possum, different than
Opossum.
an opossum.
I believe so.
Okay.
Yes.
And so how big will Caterpillar get if she's pretty young still?
She probably won't get too much bigger than this, but she has got, if you can see on her right side there, she's got an underdeveloped eye. So I don't know as far as if that matters with her size overall, but she'll get just a little bit bigger.
Okay, and because of the underdeveloped eye, that's why she is at COM.
Yes, it is.
So talk a little bit about that.
So she was, her mother had passed away, and then she was discovered in her pouch still. And so when they pulled her out, she was only 30 grams when we got her out at COM.
So where was the mom? I mean, how did you find...
Somebody found her,
So
and she
somebody
came through
found
our
her.
rehab program.
Okay.
Yes. So somebody had found her and brought her out to COM, and then as soon as they realized that when her eye started opening, they realized that her right eye was significantly underdeveloped.
Okay.
So she became a non-release candidate, and we made a home for her at COM.
And for people not familiar, I mean, you guys are on the show with us pretty frequently throughout the year, but COM is a different type of center for animals.
Yes, so all of our animals that we have at COM are non-release candidates. So our goal when we have our rehab program open is to be able to rehab injured animals and get them back where they belong in the wild. But if we're not able to, then we make a home for them at COM so that way they can live out their lives with us.
And it's always nice to be able to release the animal back into the wild, because I
Absolutely.
know that we've had opportunities in past years to go out there
Yes.
and help you guys release. One was a rather large bird, I remember that, and I know
Yeah.
there's footage of that someplace, but hopefully they don't bring that one up again until I retire. But
That is our
anyway.
goal. That is our goal.
So I know that they can have babies pretty frequently.
Yes.
And how often? And
They could have, a mom could have them at least 2 times a year, and their gestation process is very short, and so once they go into the pouch, they are only there for maybe 2.5 more months, and then they come out into the world and hatch onto the back, and then when they're ready to go, they'll go and be free with the rest of their opossums.
as far as, like you said, they're in the pouch.
Yes.
So kind of like kids might be thinking like a kangaroo or
Yes,
something
they
like
are
that.
North America's only marsupial, so they go into a pouch similar to a kangaroo.
And something else about them, they're nocturnal.
Yes, they do most of their activities out at night.
Okay.
When we're all asleep, and they do not carry rabies. They are nature's best pest control. They eat ticks and insects and
Yeah, I was
small
gonna say,
rodents.
what do they eat
yeah,
on?
yeah.
So-
They're opportunistic, so they will get their hands on whatever they can, but they stay away from animals and people. So if you see them, just let them do their thing.
It was a lucky sight if you were able to see an opossum.
Exactly.
Now, as far as the tail, it's a prehensile tail, correct?
Yes,
And
so
it's naked. But I would assume, are most prehensile tails naked, or do some have? I mean, not that I examine prehensile tails all the time, but I mean, I'm thinking of like monkeys and things like that. They're not naked tails, I don't believe.
Not,
right?
I don't
They have-
believe so. No.
Okay.
So they are very similar to like what you would like see on a rat or a rat's tail. But this is more like there's like a fifth hand. They don't use it to hang from trees, but they can use it as like another hand for
Okay.
them.
And I would imagine that, given the size, it probably wouldn't be feasible for them to hang.
Right, because
by
they're
the
too
tail
heavy.
also.
Yeah,
Right,
they're
the
too heavy.
heaviness of that.
Yes.
I was just going to bring up something else. So this is not because you said it's not a rodent.
Right.
Right, because a lot of people will go, well, it's got a rat's tail like that, and it kind of
Yes.
looks like it, and it's got the claws and stuff.
No,
but
they
it's
are not a rodent.
rodent.
Nope, they are not.
Now, the amount of teeth that an opossum has is pretty incredible
Yes,
also.
they have about 50 teeth.
So you would think that they're more carnivore.
They do. They're
So they're
again.
eating- right,
They
so-
can eat small rodents too. So.
Okay, so it's not just insects and things like that, so they can get something pretty big.
You okay? Yes.
And how, okay, it's just fascinating to me when we have live animals in here and stuff like that. So
She's
as
wondering where
far
her
as,
snacks are. Oh, they're right there.
so where does, like, what's the habitat that you have her in at COM?
She is in an enclosure, so we have all of our opossums separated. So we have 3 total on site, but she's in a riparian trail. So she is in her own little enclosure where she has a hammock and she sleeps most of her day.
Okay, now as far as, I mean, because it obviously lives in Bakersfield in Kern County, which is pretty hot for most of the year.
Yes. So
You've
during
got a
the summer,
different climate-controlled area for...
During the summer, we bring our opossums inside because they do not do well in excessive heat. But now that the weather is getting better, they're back out on exhibit.
Well, speaking of weather getting better, it's
Yes.
time for Boo at the Zoo also,
Oh, yes.
correct?
We are kicking off Boo at the Zoo tomorrow, starting...
Tomorrow,
Yep,
excellent.
starting
All right, good.
tomorrow.
You know what? I think we've got some footage of Boo at the Zoo
Yeah.
and some different things. So
Yes.
I know we've got some information about it, but Boo at the Zoo, how long has this been going on?
I believe we're in our 19th year. Of Boo
Okay,
at
so we
the
can
Zoo.
see some photographs of some different things. So kids
costumes
come
are,
out.
Yeah, costumes are encouraged. We're focusing Wednesday. It's the first year that we're doing it Wednesday through Sunday rather than just on a Saturday and Sunday. So it gives families an opportunity to come out and hopefully won't get super busy. It kind of spreads out some of the crowds. But we encourage guests to dress up in costumes. We'll have games. We're going to have activities for the kiddos. Wednesday and Thursday, we're going to be focusing on toddlers, although all ages are welcome. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday is going to be full-blown Boo at the Zoo. And then we have our very, very brand new event, Boo at the Zoo After Dark, which will be
Right, I heard about this
happening
After Dark.
After Dark on Friday, the 20th, where we're showing 2 movies. The first one will be Curious George and the Halloween Boo Fest at 5:30. And then we will be following that with the 1995 version of Casper at 7:30.
All right, so the graphic is up on the screen. Boo at the Zoo After Dark coming up this Friday.
Yes, this
so
Friday.
show 1 at 5:30, show 2 at 7:30.
Yes.
And a lot of times people want to get a little more connected with COM. There are also volunteer opportunities for people at a COM, correct?
Absolutely, yes. If you visit our website, comzoo.org/volunteers, we have a lot of opportunities. As we have animal care, which requires a class that will be in January. People are interested. We have our cleanup crew that you can come out anytime, Wednesday through Sunday.
I was
We
going
have
to say, that's
shifts.
the most demand, right? Hey, we
can
need
use them
cleanup
all
crew.
the time, every day. There's trash to be cleaned up because COM isn't a wildlife corridor, so we get wild animals that go through and they like to go through trash if there's trash out there. They like to mess things up if we can. So it's helpful to have some volunteers help us with that and getting it all back on track for the day.
So Caterpillar's getting a little snack right now.
Yes,
So what is Caterpillar eating? What is she eating?
Right now we have some unsalted almonds, some blueberries, and some apples.
Well, it looks pretty nice. Maybe
Yeah,
I'll share in there with
yeah.
Caterpillar.
She's being a very good girl, so she deserves all of the treats.
There you go. Anything else we should know about Caterpillar before we let you go, Liz?
She is awesome, and you can come and visit her at COM starting tomorrow, even for Boo at the Zoo.
There you go. And we'll even have passes to give away to COM that
Yes.
we do all year long.
That's wonderful.
All right, so there we go. One more time, we've got the Boo at the Zoo graphic coming up. It starts tomorrow, the 18th, through the 22nd. All day happening, right?
Yes, 9 to 4. Except for Friday, we will be closing our gates at 3 just to get preparation.
Get ready for the Boo at the Zoo
for the
After
After
Dark.
Dark. Yes,
All
but
right,
other than
cool.
that, it's 9 to 4. Our train will be running from 10 to 3. It's just going to be a really great
we've done many
time.
features on the
Yeah.
train also. Say hi to the engineers
I
and especially
will.
our engineer, Steve. I forget what title he has out there, but I know that Steve Sanders is
Yes,
one of
he
the,
is out there.
the big engineers out
Yes.
there. Anyway, Liz, thanks for
Thank
coming
you
in
so
and
much
thank you
for
for bringing
having us.
Caterpillar.
Absolutely.
And that is today's Math in the News.
Thank you.
All right. Oh, you know what? That is today's Math in the News. I was waiting for the little do-do-do to come
Oh,
up.
okay.
Have you ever talked math?
Sure.
You know what? We're going to
Yeah.
check somebody out talking math with tape diagrams right now.
Okay.
My name is Alexander Rubio,
And my name is Marcelino Herrera.
and we're both 6th graders from Myrtle Avenue. Today, we are going to talk about tape diagrams to solve a math problem. Tape diagrams are like fractions, and they are shaped like a rectangle, and it's sort of like a bar, and we can separate this into parts. Let's say this whole thing is 1/4. And we want to know the percentage of each part. Well, in order to solve this, we need to know that this whole bar is 100% because it's the entire thing. And in total, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. And to find out the percentage of each part, we are going to divide 100% with 4 parts. And that gives us 25%. And now we could find out the percentage of each part. 25%, 25, 25, and 25. And that's how tape diagrams work. we have been given a math problem about tape diagrams. The problem says there are 180 people in a movie theater and 30% got a discount.
So what we're trying to find out today is how much people didn't get a discount.
Well, to start this problem, we need to start a tape diagram. A tape diagram is this huge bar that we can separate into fractions. And what we know is that 30% of the discounts, it doesn't go into 4 parts, it doesn't go into 6 parts, so maybe 10 parts will work. And we need to know that this whole thing is 100%. And in total, there are 10 parts. So, to find out the percentage of each part, we need to divide 100 with 10, and that gives us 10%. And now we know that each part is going to be 10%. However, we need to find out how much people are in each part.
Well, if we want to find out how much people are in each part, we have to look at the problem. There are 180 people in a movie theater. We know we have to make another bar diagram, and this one has to equal 180 people. But they want us to find out how much people there are for each 10%. So we have to go 180 divided by 180 divided by 10, and 10 goes into 18 one time. 18 minus 10 equals 8. Drop down to 0. And 10 goes into 80 equally 8 times. So we know this whole bar diagram would equal is 18 people. 18. Now we know there's 18 people in each 10%. So we have to shade in 30%. And now we know there's 7 10% left. So we could finally solve this problem by doing 7, since it's 70%, and we could turn it into 7, times 18, since that's how much people equal to each 10%, and 18 times 7, 7 times 8 equals 56, 7 times 1 equals 7, plus 5 equals 126 people. So now we know there are 126 people that didn't get a discount.
Thank you for listening to our Chalk Talk.
And thanks to the boys for talking some math and tape diagrams right there. 636-4357 is our phone number. We do have a couple of phone tutors available today, as well as most Tuesdays and Wednesdays throughout the regular school year. You can phone in anywhere between 3:30 and 5:30. Hopefully we can help you out with some of your math homework. And adults, a lot of times parents are able to call in and they want to know, hey, how can I better help my student, because the way they're doing it's a little bit differently than the way I was doing it in school, and we've got some different ideas to help you out with that as well. As a matter of fact, there was a 4th grade student. I was talking to his mom today, and she goes, I'm trying to show him the algorithm, the way we were brought up, double digit, like 43 times 58. And I go, there's like 7 more ways I could show you right now. But where is he here, and has he ever seen this? So then take this one home, try that, and then we'll see where it goes. But we always have those resources available for you. Prabhat, an 8th grade student at Earl Warren Junior High School, right?
Yep,
All right. And math class is going wonderfully spectacular so far this year, right?
that's right.
But you missed a little something today, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so you and Cindy are going to go over and kind of go over some of the stuff that you may have missed in class today, all right? Head on over to the board.
All right, so today we went over intercepts. Do you know what an intercept is?
When they're crossing like a certain line.
Okay, yeah, that's a good definition. So if I asked you for this graph to find the y-intercept, Show me where it would be.
I'd say it was right here.
All right, which axis is that one on?
Oh wait, I meant this one. Sorry.
Okay.
Because this is the y-axis. Sorry.
Yeah, so what would this one be called then?
That'd be the x-axis. That'd be the x-intercept.
There you go. So the intercepts are where the graph of your line, or in this case, we're working with lines. It could be other parabolas and things like that too, but we're working with linear equations right now. So where it hits the x-axis and the y-axis. So if you were to tell me, if I asked you to write down the x-intercept, what would you write?
I'd write 0, 1, and 0 for the coordinate.
Okay. Go ahead and put a negative on your 1 just because it's at
Negative 1, sorry.
Okay, so I like that you didn't just say x equals 1, because
Yeah.
you could say x-intercept is 1, and that's okay, or negative 1, I mean. But you can't say
X equals
this,
1.
because that's really a line, not a point, right? So you don't want to say that. All right, so either of these two is acceptable. Most commonly, you're going to use the point value. And so what would the y-intercept for this one be?
The y-intercept, it would be 0, 2.
Okay. And so when you're looking at a graph, it's pretty easy to find the places where the graph crosses the x and y axis, unless, of course, if it went through in the middle somewhere and it wasn't, on a coordinate point. So you're also going to have to know how to find them from an equation. So if you have the equation 3x minus 4y equals 12, and you don't have a graph to look at or anything, because it's not the same graph. I just made that up. But you have to find the x-intercept, and you have to find the y-intercept. What are some ideas you have how you could do that? What do you think? Just what crosses your mind?
You could make it where the number values on one side and or like the x is on one side, the y is on one side.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it is.
Are you thinking of like slope-intercept form?
Like
Or
you would have 3x with the 12 on this side
Okay.
equals negative 4y.
okay.
That's what I was
So
thinking.
rearrange it a little bit.
Yeah.
But you'd still have an x and y in there, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure that would completely help you unless we haven't learned about slope-intercept yet, so we're not really going there.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to this. So look at your points right here, right? Okay, when you're finding the x-intercept, no matter where it's at, right? Even if it was like over here, what's the
Yeah.
y value always got to be?
0.
So you're going to use that to help you. So when you're finding x-intercept, you're going to plug in y is 0
Okay.
and then solve for x.
So this would 0 because 4 times y, which is 0, would be 0. So you have 3x equals 12, and then you would divide it on each side to get x by itself. So you'd get 4 equals x. So I'd say the x-intercept is 4, 4, 0.
Okay, so we got the x-intercept. So how do you think we could use the same idea to find the y-intercept?
Like you said earlier, if we're finding the x-intercept, the y has to be 0. So if we're finding the y this time, I'd say the x has to equal 0. So x, we would plug in x equals 0.
Correct.
And then multiply 3 times 0, 0.
Right.
And we get negative 4y equals 12. So then we have to divide it on each side. So you got negative 4, so negative 4, 12 divided by negative 4, you would get negative 3 equals y. So our y-intercept would be 0, comma, negative 3.
Okay, good. Now, what do you think? I remember one of the ones that threw some people off. Of course, I'm trying to make this up as I go, so let's see. It was something like 3y plus 2x equals, I don't know, let's say 2y minus x plus 12 or something like that. So, and then you have to use that equation and still find the two intercepts. Whoops, x-intercept. So you're still finding the y-intercepts. How do you think I mean, could you do it still?
I feel like you would have to transfer like this side over to here.
Okay, so simplify your like terms.
Yeah,
Okay, that's a
simplify
good
like
start.
terms. So you would get y plus.
So do you want to show it on there what you would do to do
Yeah,
that?
so you would minus 2y from this side. So you do the same on this side. You would get y by itself, just one y. Then you, in order to get rid of negative x, you would have to add positive x to it. So you would add positive x here. So you get 3x plus 3x, you get equals 12. So you get y plus 3x equals 12. Then we would plug in the fact that if you're finding the y-intercept, the x would have to be 0.
Okay.
So we would, if we're looking for the x-intercept, let's look for the x-intercept first.
Okay.
X-intercept is the x is going to be x, obviously. So y would have to be 0 because we're looking for the x-intercept. So y equals 0. So we don't acknowledge that for now. Then we have plus 3x. Then we would get x by itself. So divided by 3. Then we would divide by 3 on this side. You would get 12 divided by 3 is 4. So you get 4 equals x, or x equals 4. Then if we were finding the y, you would do y plus 3x, but since we're looking for y, 3x would be canceled out. 3 times 0 is 0, so there would be nothing there. And then we would have equals 12. And we don't even have to divide anything because we have 1y equals 12. So we would have y equals 12 by itself. So our y-intercept would equal 12.
All right, so I'm just gonna, because I know that this happens, write them in the right format for me.
Okay, so you have, so x is first, x then y. So you'd have for x-intercept 4, comma 0. And then for the y-intercept, you would have 0, comma 12.
Okay, and then those are your two intercepts. Now, what if they said, now graph that? How could you graph it?
And that you guys are going to do next.
Okay.
But so far for today, you've done some excellent work so far today, Prabhat. And for your great work, you've got yourself a pass to COM. So congratulations on that. Hopefully you guys have an opportunity. Who knows, maybe you can go to COM and do Boo at the Zoo and maybe After Dark. So who knows, maybe you go out and see Caterpillar out there as well as some of the other nocturnal animals for Boo at the Zoo After Dark. Something else coming up this weekend, rather cool, because we have had an opportunity to visit with the Bakersfield Museum of Art every single month, and one of their activities is coming up this weekend. It is Via Arte, and that is coming up Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, I think that is, the 21st and 22nd. All day and into the early evening, that is happening at the marketplace. Free admission, and you're going to see some absolutely phenomenal art pieces, all done with chalk, on the parking lot, and they've got out some special areas that they resurface them and coat them so that the chalk art just looks fabulous out there. And that is brought to you by the Bakersfield Museum of Art. We'll be back with more right after this.
Alright guys, so now that we're back from the farmer's market, we can finally make something fun. So we've got our raspberries that we got from H&A Farms. I'm sure you guys remember these. All the little droops and the Fibonacci sequence that we worked on. And we're going to use these raspberries to make a raspberry cheesecake ice cream. So first thing we have to do is we need to measure out our custard base for the ice cream. Now I have my recipe right here, so please excuse me if you see my eyes wander. In one bowl, we are going to add 1/3 cup of white sugar. So when we measure, we make sure we get an even scoop and we level off the top. And the reason that we do that is because we want each scoop to be the same every single time. And now we know this is exactly 1/3 cup of sugar. So that's gonna go in one bowl. And then we're going to add 3 egg yolks to that bowl. And we're free. Okay, gonna wash my hands and I'll be right back. We're going to whisk the sugar and the egg yolks together until we see a color change. So if I stop here, you'll see it's kind of that classic egg yolk color. You can see some of the graininess from the sugar. But the more we mix, the more the sugar and the protein are going to create a matrix. And this matrix will serve to stabilize our entire ice cream mixture. And there we go. 1.5 cups of whipping cream. So I have my 1 cup, I have my half cup, or for you math lovers out there, we could do 3 half cups as well, right? 1/2, 1, 1.5. Now when measuring out a liquid, we're going for the same strategy as our dry measuring. The only difference is we don't really have anything to scrape off the top, so we have to make sure that we get it nice and level. Now liquids have both cohesive and adhesive properties, which means it sticks to the container it's in and to itself. This creates a meniscus, which is that top of the water that spiders can float on, for example. So when you're pouring liquid, you want to watch for level being the edge to edge of the meniscus and not rounded over, right? So you want higher edge, lower dip in the middle, and you can see we have that here, so I know this is even. I'm gonna pour that out. Make sure I get everything, otherwise there's no point in measuring. This cream is gonna go onto the heat. And we are gonna warm it until it just comes up to a simmer. While that's happening, why don't we get our raspberry syrup going for our raspberry swirl? We need 1 cup of raspberries, so it's a good thing we left this one clean, huh? So we don't have to do any dishes. So we're gonna take our beautiful raspberries. Now, with things that aren't perfectly levelable, it does become a bit more difficult to get a level scoop. But luckily, since we're not trying to serve these raspberries whole, we can kind of smush them in there. So, got my cup, got my berries. I've got a little mountain of berries here. Just gonna smash it down. See, I still have a little bit of room in my cup, so I'm gonna grab a couple more shrapnel, a couple more berries, and it looks like this container contains about exactly a cup of berries. Nice smushed raspberries in the pot. So we are gonna add to these raspberries a squeeze of orange juice. Now the reason that I'm squishing and rolling and mashing this orange is because I want to get as much juice out of here as possible. And if I break all those cells before I even open the orange, then it's just gonna come out a lot easier. I don't have to mess with it so much. I don't need any weird squeezy implements or a juicer. I mean, I'm not even squeezing. The juice comes straight out, okay? So we need about 1/2 tablespoon. And I think with things like orange juice, you can just eyeball that for this recipe anyway. Oh, buddy. And I am going to swirl.
And we'll check in with Miriam in a little bit, but culinary calculations, always tasty calculations. I think we could say that as well. Johnny's over there, pat his belly like, oh yeah, yeah. So you sampled some of that ice cream?
We did.
Yeah, I know you did, and I know
Awful
Big
good.
Mac did too, and I'm sure Brian did, and
Awful good.
yeah, there you go.
Awful good.
All right, good. Oh yeah, there's Johnny. Hey, we got a picture of him. We're looking at right there. There you go. And we see you back there in the dark. Anyway, Prabhat is an 8th grade student at Warren Middle School, and Cindy just happens to be his instructor, so she knows exactly what Prabhat needs to be going over. They were working on a couple of problems, and we're going to start graphing right now, so you guys can take it away.
Okay, so do you remember what your intercepts were?
So our x-intercept was 4 and 0. And then our y-intercept was 0 and 12.
Okay, so then to graph that,
We would just count the points and
So
then
put the
graph-
points on there?
Yeah,
Okay.
graph the dot. So since our y is 0, we would just put it on a line 4. And then for our y, we would just go up 12.
I don't know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, you're right. Oops, sorry. Moved a tiny bit. But.
So-
Okay, so then you got to connect them to make the
line.
line, yeah. You could try the line tool, but yeah.
It's not
There we
the
go.
perfect line.
And then you want to make sure that you extend it because technically it does
Yeah.
keep going in both directions. Those are just 2
Yeah.
points that happen to be on
Line
it.
segment.
But this is easier for this form, right? When it's in this form, standard form AX plus BY equals C, than making a table of values to graph your line. It's a little bit quicker. And it's as long as the numbers are friendly numbers where we can get these perfect, you know,
Yeah.
right on the line kind of
Not
values.
in between.
Yeah. So what do you want us to do next, Mike?
So is there anything where you want to have him introduce where the numbers aren't so nice? Or do you want to go back in time a couple of days to what he's doing before? All right, we're going to go back right now.
Okay,
All
let's
right,
go
so
back.
here we go. We're going to take a look at the problem on the board right now.
So
We'll take a look at
let's-
it together under the camera.
Make a new
So a
page.
movie rental club charges $4.95 for membership and $18.95 a month for a subscription.
Let's just write
So
down
it's
these numbers.
$4.95 to be a member, and then $18.95 for every month after that. So it says complete the table to represent the fees paid over the first 3 months. So we're going to make a table. You need to figure out for 3 months. So f of n is equal to 1895n plus 495. So it's 1895n plus 495. And Prabhat, as you're going through that, explain what you're doing for students that have seen this for the first time.
So you would, so $4.95 is guaranteed. So we don't change that price. Only price we changed is the 18.95n, because as the months increase, you would have to increase this price. So n is our number of months. So we would go 1, 2, 3, and so we would have $4.95. We would go $4.95 plus, so since n is 1, you would plug in 1, you'd get $18.95, because anything by itself is just stays. So you would add that together. So you would go $18.95 plus $4.95 equals $23. So you so
Now,
you,
hold on a second, because you've got 95 and 95. And you've got,
so you would you would go 10.
Oh yeah, that's a 9.
Yeah, it's a 9.
That's a 9.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
okay.
That's a
yeah,
9,
because
sorry.
the 4
I
and
thought
the
it was
9
a 4.
are getting you messed
Gotcha.
up there.
Sorry.
So 1890. So,
So
90.
you have
2390.
23.90 for our first month's price, and then that month that price would just increase. So you go $4.95 plus, and then you would multiply it by 2. So you would have So you have $37.90. $37.90 plus $4.95. Because $4.95 doesn't change. Only price that changes here is here. And if you wonder how we got $37.90, it's because I plugged in 2 for our n, and then I just multiplied it. So you would have 3790 plus 495, and you would have 5, 8, you have 4285.
Let's talk a mental math strategy, just since I see these numbers. Like, what's that close to?
That's our guaranteed price. That's the membership
I just
fee.
mean like 4.95, like dollar-wise, so mental math kind of help us out, make
Yeah.
it quicker. What's that close to?
That's $5.
Yeah, it's like 5 cents off, right?
Yeah.
So we think of that of $5. We just need 5 cents more, so that would make this like take 5 cents off,
Yeah.
kind of, just to kind of add it up quicker.
Yeah.
I'm just like thinking mental math. But anyways, you
Yeah.
got 42.85.
Yeah.
What amount is just being added on every time for the next month?
So the amount is we're just adding $18.95 to it because we're just adding more and more as the months go on.
So we could plug in 3 and calculate it
Yeah.
and add that on again, or
Yeah.
we could know that every month it adds another amount of
yeah.
the 18.95 on, so we could take our last answer and
Yeah,
increase
and
it
just
by the
increase
amount we're
it.
adding on. Okay.
Yeah. So if they're only asking for the first few terms, but let's just say if they're telling you to do like 7 months in, you're 7 months in, you would plug in 7 into that, and using the strategy, you have $5, so we would add 5. So first let's
You
multiply
can
this
erase
out.
some of that stuff, Prabhat, if you
Oh,
need
yeah.
to down below. You can make yourself some more room there.
Yeah, I would go ahead and multiply that by 7 before you worry about
Yeah,
that.
so you'd multiply 895 by 7, or 1895 by 7, and then you would get our price for each month. So you would go 5, 3, 63, 66. Then you would have 56, 62. And then you would have 7, you have 13. You would have to spend 132.65, adding the 5, you would just have 137.65. But the thing is, so since we rounded this up to $5, we would just have to remove the 5 cents. So we would have 137.60. So
That's for if
yeah,
you figured
for
out
number.
7 months.
Yeah, so you'd have $137.60,
60 cents.
60 cents, and yeah, you would get that for 7 months. And each time, as the n increases, you just have to plug it into this equation, and all you would have to do is multiply this out, then just add this number at the end.
So that's like a rule
Yeah.
that you just use.
Yeah.
Do you remember what kind of rule it's called?
Explicit
nice.
rule. It's a pattern, so you would just keep going on, and you would basically you only have to do one thing, so you would only have to keep adding on 1895 per
Yeah, if you're
month.
looking at the pattern here. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to make sure everybody's clear, I know that you took the 1895 times the 7 for 7 months, and you subtracted the 5 cents because it was 4.95, which was close to 5.
Yeah.
But what happened with the other dollar amounts there? Because you accounted for the 5 cents going down.
So we added the $5. So we had 130.
There you go. That's what I
Yeah.
wanted, because some students are going to go, where did the other amount go?
Yeah.
That's what I wanted you to just clarify one more time.
Yeah, so we multiplied this. We multiplied the 1895 by the amount of months. So we got 7. We got 132.65. We added $5, so it would be easier to add. So we got 137.65, and we removed the 5 cents because it's the real price is $4.95, not $5.
Right, because as you were going through it, you were doing it smoothly and everything was going through. But at that time, I wanted to make sure that students understood that, yeah, that's what you were doing. Because some students go, I need to add the $4.95 and then take away the 5 cents that way. So wonderfully done right there. Now, there is another part to this question. You guys playing with my screen over there?
No one's even touching it.
Your elbows or your
They're
shirt
not
or
even
something, I
close
think, is
to
messing around with that. So let's take a look, Prabhat. It says, part B of this problem. It says, what would F0 equal 495 represent?
F0?
So f of 0 equals 495. And what would that represent?
So what's that represent?
So the 0 is the amount of months. So you could buy the subscription like immediately, and since 1 month hasn't gone by, you would have to add this $18.95 because you would plug in 0, and you'd plug in 0 into $18.95, so you would get 0 because anything times 0 is 0, and then you had the plus $4.95, so you would get f of 0 equals $4.95.
And then what's that represent?
That represents just the membership fee.
Yeah.
No extra months, nothing like that.
Good, easily done. Well, you get a membership, you're probably going to want to keep it for a whole year. So the next part of the problem says, what would the cost be for a year's worth of membership?
So we already know that a whole year is 12 months. So we would have 12. 12 is our N. So you'd multiply 1895 times 12. So you go 1895, 12.
You have a eraser? Well, you just forgot to carry it to there.
Oh yeah.
So that one
Oh,
would
1 0.
would carry over to there.
Oh.
Was it 1 0? No, wait, hold on. Because when you added this, you put the 12, but really
Yeah.
the 1 from the 12 should have carried to the 1 over there.
Oh.
So it's 227.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 227.40. So you would just you would plug in the 12 is N. So 1895 times 12, you would get the answer 227.40. And then you would add 495. So you would add 495. So you would have $232.35 the whole year.
For the whole year?
Yeah.
All right, so this last one, I don't want you to actually do it, but I want you to tell me how you would figure it out. It says if the first month were free, what would a yearly membership cost? So just how would you do it before you even, I don't want you to figure it out. Tell me what you would do based on your knowing what the whole year costs right now.
So that's the whole year.
Yeah,
for all
that's
the
the whole
months.
year. So if the first month is free, all you would have to do is subtract $18.95 from the actual cost.
There you go.
And you'd get
Whatever
the
that
price for the
Right.
11 months.
All right, very nicely done. So have you ever done a lot of math problems with your family at your house? All right, well, guess what, young man? The opportunity is coming up because October 23rd through the 27th is Kern Math Week, and this is brought to you by mindresearch.org and the /Kern-Math-Week. They will give you all the information, and these are activities that you can do with your family during the week, and you log the minutes, and they're trying to get well over the 500,000 minutes throughout Kern County, and that graphic is up there for you. It will also be on our website for you to find out more. And we're going to take a last look with Miriam at those calculations.
You see our cream has come to a simmer. The reason we don't bring cream to a boil is because it can separate the fat from the liquid, and we don't want that. We want to be gentle with our cream. So now, let me set my raspberries aside. Sorry, friends. We're going to grab our bowl of egg yolks and sugar, and we are going to temper the cream into the sugar. Now, what that means is we are going to slowly add hot liquid into our cool egg yolks. The reason we do that is because if we do this too quick, what happens to eggs when they hit heat, right? They scramble, and I don't want scrambled egg ice cream. So, got our egg yolks, got a little bit of cream, we add a little, just a trickle. All right, now we've got all of our cream in with our egg yolks and our sugar. And you can see when I pour this back into the pan that we are not gonna get a single lump. Nice and smooth all the way to the end. Now this is going to go in our dish pit. And this is gonna go back on the heat. Now, we are done with the whisk. The whisk is too aggressive for this next step. We don't want a bunch of bubbles in our custard mixture. So back in on the lowest heat, we're gonna get our rubber spatula back, and we are just going to slowly stir this. 3 to 5 minutes. We are looking for this custard to coat the back of the spoon. So now we're starting to get some thickening. We're seeing some steam come off of the top, and I think that's about where we want to stop there. So I'm going to turn off my heat, and I'm going to leave this to cool. So there's our thick custard mixture. It falls off in a nice, consistent stream. We need to add in our cream cheese. So this recipe calls for 4 ounces of cream cheese. This is an 8-ounce block. But luckily, you'll notice the package of cream cheese has markers at 2, 4, and 6 ounces. So needing 4 will just cut right along that line. Okay, see my line, go right down on it. And now I know I have exactly 4-ounce chunks of cream cheese. Alrighty, and blop. The reason we're adding it while the mix is still warm is twofold. The first reason is that this is going to cool down our custard mixture. The second reason, inversely, is that the custard is going to warm up the cream cheese and help it melt faster. Now I'm just going to break this up. All right, we're just going to leave that to continue melting. We're going to go back to our raspberries. Okay, so we've added our raspberries, we've added our orange juice. Next, we need our 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now, I'm going to show you that you can use anything to scrape off and level a tablespoon or a cup. I'm going to use another cup to scrape off this top. I'm going to level off our sugar. There you go. It's 1 tablespoon even. 2. That's it for our raspberry swirl. Our raspberries are sweet and delicious, and I don't want to add too much to them to alter them. So we've got our sugar, we've got our raspberries. At the very end, just to thicken it up, we're going to add a touch of cornstarch, about a ½ teaspoon, and that's really going to thicken our drizzle so that when the ice cream comes out of the machine, we can just swirl our raspberries right through it, and it'll stay in its position. So we're about to take our raspberry swirl off the heat. You can see it's thickened nicely, and it's just going to continue to thicken as it sets. You can remove the seeds if you like. I like the seeds because I'm a bit of a strange person. And I'm just going to toss this into a deli container to cool down. Yummy, yummy. It smells like candy. So our custard is chilled, we've added our cream cheese, and then we have our raspberry swirl that we made. Added our cornstarch, thickened up. That's gonna be perfectly ready for us to swirl in our ice cream when it comes out of the machine. Before we talk about the machine, we have to do one more thing. Vanilla. The reason you add in your extracts at the end and not while you're cooking is because this is alcohol based. Alcohol boils at a lower temperature than water, which means that by the time your custard is hot enough to thicken, this alcohol and extract and all the flavors that come with it have already boiled out. So we save it till the end to add. Now, I'm not even gonna measure the vanilla because I love it. But at home, it is half a teaspoon. Just gonna stir that in. I look at my machine, I set it to pre-cool. It is ready, it's on hold. I'm going to open this up. Got our chamber, a nice frosty chamber. Just gonna pour our mix in here. Scrape down my sides. Get all the ice cream mixture in there. We're making raspberry cheesecake ice cream. Okay, this goes on. Lock, start. So as fun as it is to stare into this thing, we're gonna step back for 20 minutes and come back when this is ready. All right, guys, so we left our ice cream machine alone for about 40 minutes. Now we're gonna reap the rewards. So you can see, we've got a nice consistent ice cream. We've got no chunks. We've got no grittiness or graininess. And we're going to put that in our pan. We're going to swirl our raspberry into it, and then this has to go back in the freezer to set up. So, oh buddy. Let's get all this ice cream off of there. Now, this is gonna be messy. That's just because it's ice cream. You guys can see at home that it's not the firmest yet. This is why we're gonna put it back in the freezer, and this is why I am working so fast. Now, the reason I'm putting this in such a big container is because the thinner I make this layer, the faster it's going to freeze in the freezer. So now it's time for our raspberry. Just gonna put it down the middle. I think that's probably a good amount. And I am going to swirl it through our ice cream. This is gonna get wrapped and put in the freezer, and then maybe we can try some in the next episode.
Big thanks to Miriam and that raspberry ice cream right there. Even Prabhat was like, ooh, that sounds good right there. It probably tastes even better. So Prabhat, did you learn a little something today with some of the stuff that you missed in the last class?
Yep, the slope, or the x-intercepts, the y-intercepts. I didn't have an idea what it was before. Today I learned it, and it sounds pretty easy.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we're gonna probably do some worksheets on it, so I'll see how much I improved today. So
I'm sure you'll improve greatly. Did you have fun today?
Yep.
All right, good. Well, you're going to be an ambassador for us. Every time you wear that shirt, people ask you about it. You tell them about the show. You do that? Mm-hmm. All right, sounds good. Hey, until we meet again, continue to do the math.
Major support for Do the Math has been provided by Chevron, the Kern County Superintendent of Schools, Edison International, Valley Strong Credit Union, Panama Buena Vista Union School District, and the Kern High School District. With additional production assistance provided by these supporters of education in Kern County and throughout the state of California.